So I haven't talked about this very much up to this point because I really wanted people to kind of get into the program and get settled before I really started addressing how to work with me, what kind of work I do, and why 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 you should do it. So I offer 30-minute and 60-minute one-on-one sessions where we meet via Zoom and we address what's going on with you. And in those sessions, I'm usually like, what do you want to work on? What's going on? And we kind of dig into it, and we dig into it from a brain repatterning angle, from an energetic angle, from a multidimensional angle, from an inner child healing angle. So, you know, the sessions that one has with me, they don't really have a very specific formula, but if you come into a session and you have, let's say, some like really compulsive or behaviors that are coming up, we're going to dig into that, and there might be some entities we need to pull off. There's definitely going to be some emotional processing that we've got to do around that, because whenever somebody has entities, you know demonics and different kinds of parasitic entities latched onto them, it's because they've got food for those entities. And that food comes in the form of unprocessed emotions, comes in the form of blocked memories. It comes in the form of just unfaced trauma and un things that we haven't accepted about ourselves. So it's a lot of that's shadow work, so there's a lot of that in my work. And then on top of that, me guiding you through the process of sort of unraveling that stuff and processing that stuff. I also do my energy healing work woven into that, and I do kind of like what I would think of as etheric surgery. So this like very multi-layered, and those are just the normal regular one-on-one sessions with me. I also do something called soul realignment, which is a whole nother thing that you book the session, and then I do a bunch of research and access your Akashic field or your Akashic records, and pull up a bunch of stuff about what's going on in your life in terms of blockages and things that you're ready to face, so that they can come out. And there's some soul healing that goes on in that process as well. And so, a lot of us have experienced a great deal of trauma in this life and past lives. And so that can be damaging to the soul, and it can be damaging to just us as, beautiful beings of emotion and light. And um yeah, so the soul realignment is really helpful for getting a kind of like diagnostic. And there are different types of soul realignment sessions. There's the first one, which kind of sets you up to see like what's going on with your soul, like what's your most recent kind of incarnational history, like what kind of like what's your essence sort of made of. It's really very interesting. And then what patterns are coming up that are keeping you from moving forward in a really big way, and is there soul damage and things like that. And so that is a little bit more involved of a session, but it also the soul realignment aspect of it is realigning your soul. So realigning yourself to your soul. So and tidying it all up energetically. And so yeah. Yeah, those are some options for personal sessions. I also specifically do entity removal sessions, but that would come naturally to really anyone who signs up with a for a one-on-one session with me, not necessarily the soul realignment. There's just so much going on there that's separate, that it would be a whole additional session to get an entity removal session, or entity removal during that session. So I also do what I call home harmonizations, and these are really helpful for people who are really, for everyone. Because what happens is I connect with the nature spirits of your home or your business, or whatever, the land that you live on. And me and those nature spirits, and then another crew of other magical beings, we all work together to, remove sort of dark energies from the land, to, set up the place energetically in the most harmonious way for you and for your pets and whoever else lives there. And it can be really super helpful if there's like a bunch of portals in the land, where there's just a lot of energetic coming and goings that are disrupting your nervous system, that are disrupting your life. And so, and we also we clear any like what is called battle energy. So if there was just like, or stagnant energies, and we also, while we're in there, me and this crew of magical beings, we also check the designation. So if the land was previously designated as a burial ground or a battleground, or a sacred site, we change the designation so that it can better serve you as a home or office or whatever it is. And change the designation from sacred site doesn't make the land any less sacred. It just tells the land that it can have a different purpose now. And so, like, if something is designated a sacred site and people try to build a house on it, they will come up against a lot of difficulties and challenges. Point being, this house that I'm I'm in now, my partner has owned this property for 20 years. And the people before him, I think, had it for 15 years. The house is only now, and I've been here for 7 or so years. Only in the last 2 years has it had drywall. And that's because I finally went in and changed. I did a whole thing on it, and I was like, oh, this was designated as sacred land. So that designation blocked the finishing of the house. It could not get finished. And so since I've done that, now we have drywall. We're almost done. All we really need to do is some trim and a little bit of flooring in one of the rooms, and like, we will be done. So that's a really big deal. And yeah, and if it's labeled as a burial ground or battleground, that can just be some really heavy, chaotic energy that just is not conducive to having a safe, comfortable home. And so, yeah, let's see. Oh, I also do. So you know how I have those videos in the resources section where it's like a 10-minute video, and it's just like this energy healing video. It's really magical. It feels good, shifts things. I also make those personalized for people. And so how that works is that you would purchase the thing, and then you would pick like how many codes you want, if you want 3 codes or 5 codes or whatever. And then we would have like a conversational, like a meeting on Zoom, where we talk about what you want those codes to be programmed with. And so let's say you want to get down to your ideal weight, 125 pounds or whatever. And and you want you want your health to be really good, and you want to look younger, or I don't know. I don't know what you want, but we would we would program those codes. Maybe you want to like really activate your divine gifts or whatever. We would program those codes, those images that I put coding into, instructions for your higher self. We would program those codes with specifically what you wanted, and then I'd put those into a video, and then you could play that video. It'd be, the same kind of thing, 10 to 12 minutes, something like that. And then you'd play that video for yourself at home, and it would do all the magics to you. So, and you would watch that or put on that video, every other week or every month or whatever, just to like continuously keep getting those energies into your system and shifting your reality, helping you shift that. So I think that's it. So I have seen the energy work that I do shift things really dramatically for people in lots of ways. And I've seen it like, well, I haven't seen it physically, but I've like worked with them over, the internet, and then they would send me messages about the benefits, so like people getting free from an addiction, people miraculously losing weight without even trying, people, their lives just shifting really dramatically to where like they like this one I saw because it was a friend, but I saw the shift from like kind of being a bit of a like a man eater, just really going through dudes to finally finding like and she didn't even really want that before because she had blocks to having a healthy, loving relationship. So she went from having these very like unsatisfying temporary relationships to having her first long-term relationship, I think, ever. And it was beautiful to watch. And it was beautiful to feel like I was a part of that happening. And I've seen like, someone works with me and then their whole life kind of blossoms in a really beautiful way. And there actually have been a few times where not just with clients, but with clients who are also friends. So I've seen it unfold where they have really struggled with dating and, you know, in interacting with that romantic realm. And then, a few sessions with me and everything shifts so much that they find their partner and they start a family and it's just really beautiful. And I would say like for myself, accessing this work was such a massive part of my shift from going, from being really out of control and unhealthy to being healthy and beloved to myself and really getting my needs finally met and even like getting in touch with what my needs even were. I was so disconnected and so unhappy on a really deep level that now that I am where I am now, I'm like, life is so beautiful. I'm so grateful and happy. And, there is really light at the end of the tunnel. And so I invite you all to reach out if you would like a session. And I do have a special discounted rate for people in this program. If you want to pay for the ultra discounted rate, you can do the first or the second or third tiers in the options for this program, or you can reach out to me and get a discounted rate that way. I'm also going to post the coupon code in the community on the community board as well. So I'll see you soon, my friend.